I I think we're here. I think I think here we are. It took a while to my links didn't work, and then I don't know what else happened. I don't know. So here we are though, finally, because we don't give up. We're stubborn and got nothing else to do. That's not true. I've been super busy lately. Um, but it's time for just a thought. In fact, I thought we were only that just a thought is all we're going to have because it didn't look like we were going to have a broadcast. But we do have a thought and a live stream of it. I'm Darrell Watkins, Senior Minister of the Sunshine Cathedral. You can see our worship space behind me. Uh, it's a screen, but that's what it looks like. That's really us. And then the Reverend Cindy Lippert is in the Library of Congress there. And I actually think it's her very own library, and or what's left of it.
Right.
I have a lot of it.
You've got 90% of it. Yeah.
So, so that's her. And our thought today comes from what's his face, Napoleon Hill. You knew him, right?
Yes, Darrell. We were both born in 1902.
You know, you could have seen him on TV or something when you were a kid.
Of course.
Yes.
Newsreels.
Yeah, okay. Anyway, Napoleon Hill said, whatever your mind, and this is famous, you know this quote already, everyone. Whatever your mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve, regardless of how many times you have failed in the past. That part at the end, you may not have heard before, but it's important. It's super important, I think. Whatever your mind can conceive and believe in, it or can conceive and believe, it can achieve, regardless of how many times you have failed in the past. Whatever your mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve, regardless of how many times you have failed in the past. That last part is the thing that gets me excited, because it kind of sounds like just bumper sticker, whatever, like somebody made it up, maybe it's true, maybe it's not, until that last part that shows that there's some experience behind this, that if you can get a hold of it and pursue it, you can do something with it, even if previous attempts didn't work out. You can keep trying and it will make a difference. That is super encouraging to me on some days. What do you think about it, Cindy?
Well, that last line is the definition of, the delineation between an airy-fairy bumper sticker and hope. Yeah. And mostly, and you hear a lot of people quote the first part, but not the last. Mm-hmm. Because we've got a lot of people right now, a lot of friends and a lot of clients and colleagues that are having a tough time. Mm-hmm. And you quote that first part, whatever the mind can believe, it can achieve. That sounds great. What are you going to do while your loved one is dying? How are you going to change your mind about a loved one that has slipped into addiction yet again? What are you going to do when there's no money coming in? You don't have money to pay the rent. But the last part gives us hope that no matter how many times we try, we can try it again. And we know nobody bats 1,000. That's a baseball thing. Nobody bats 1,000. And right. The superstars bat 300.
Right.
I mean, 600 times they didn't.
Yeah. I am the blue ribbon winner of failed diets. And here's the thing. This is the thing about needing a new thought, like changing your perception about things. I have spent the last 20 years complaining about being fat and trying to not be fat, and then celebrating some progress only to lose that progress to be fat again. And then I look at the photos from 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 3 years ago, and I think, wow, I looked so good. Why did I think I was fat? I wish I looked like that now. Right. And so much of what in fact, our wonderful Mario, our exchange student who sort of became our foster kid, who's just like the son of our hearts now. he said to me one time when I was going on some little rant about, oh, I'm so fat,
Oh
and
no.
and he just said, this 18-year-old genius just said, that's all, you're making that up. Like, none of that's true. And like, he had a different perception. He had a different way of conceiving. And so I had somehow, so this is what I need to do now. I've tried two different approaches. I've tried to not be fat, except I don't know when I'm there, and I can't seem to keep it anyway. And then I've tried to love myself in any case, like just embrace the fatness. I've done that a little bit better, but not consistently. So maybe the new approach is to just say, like, quit judging it, quit even naming it. Just, this is me. I'm healthy. I feel good. And I probably could lose 20 pounds, and I'll probably be okay if I don't lose 20 pounds. And just to be that, instead of creating this narrative of failure, and then I look back and see it wasn't such a failure, but now I feel like a failure because I'm not as good as it was then. Like, it's all in my head. It's all in my head. So all of these failures doesn't mean that I can't get it right this time. And getting it right may mean just to stop being so obsessed with it and miserable about it. I don't know. But so that's just an example of, no matter how many times, like, here I am again, still talking about the damn scale. Maybe this time I get past that. I don't know. We'll see. We've done the diets. We've done the, let's try to be fat and proud. Maybe this time I can conceive and achieve the idea of just being, just not, if my doctor says lose some weight, okay, I'll listen to her. But otherwise, why have I spent, at this point, decades tormenting myself about a thing that a lot of people don't even notice? And then when I look back, I don't notice. Like, I really spent so far 2/5 of my life miserable over a thing that may not even be true.
I have a good friend who is a drug and alcohol counselor, and she's told me food addiction is the worst. It's far worse than alcohol. It's far worse than drugs. You can get people off alcohol and drugs. You cannot get people to quit eating. They'll die. Okay. She also said this, and I find this very interesting that we're talking about this because we just had this conversation yesterday, that addicts really don't care what people think. Think about it, because of the addiction. There is nothing more important than the addiction. Fat people are usually the kindest and care about what everybody thinks. They would never turn down your pie for fear of hurting your feelings, right?
Plus, I love me some pie.
That's right. We all love me some pie. Now, you sequester a bunch of Americans who celebrate every freaking holiday with food. New Year's Day, we have to have black-eyed peas and turnip greens and all this stuff, and you have to have a dime in the pot. Well, there was never a good black-eyed pea that wasn't accompanied by some pure butter and cornbread. Am I right? Valentine's Day, we get chocolates. What happens in March? It's St. Patrick's Day. We got to drink a lot of beer and eat corned beef and cabbage till it's coming out our nose.
I love me some cabbage.
You bet. What happens in April? I can't think right now. May.
Sure.
May, we have Memorial Day. Easter. How can I forget? That's the Super Bowl at church.
The leg of lamb
leg of lamb, roasted potatoes, and all of that has to be accompanied by some wine and some good ciabatta bread and all of that, right? Then we get to Memorial Day, we have to have a cookout.
Yep.
June, we've got graduation. We never had a graduation without food. July, there's 4th of July. That's got to be a big frickin' picnic. And then August, you've got to have a picnic and vacation. And who doesn't eat on their vacation?
Right.
Then you get to September, October, November, December. It is just one big food fest.
Halloween candy, Thanksgiving.
Oh yeah, all of it.
New Year's party.
It's just food. So you tell Americans who are used to celebrating every 5 minutes with food, and don't forget Friday night, happy hour. Don't forget that. and you know, and Sunday dinner and all of it. You tell a bunch of
And
Americans who
growing up, we got food right out of the garden, so that was like at least good food. Now, so much of our food is processed,
yeah,
and
I know.
so
It's
the food is like,
yeah.
my family always ate a lot, but
Oh
not
yeah.
all my family was big because they ate good food and they were active.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, I was in a family of giants. They were tall and they were big. And I was a skinny kid. I wasn't ever really sure, was I really that skinny or was I just surrounded by giants? I'm not sure. So anyway, you tell a bunch of Americans, sequester them. They can't go anywhere, do anything. And what are we all doing? Making banana bread out of the rotting bananas, right? And we
Sure.
wonder, how come we put on weight?
Well, and there's also the mental component though. I was a skinny kid, and I was embarrassed about that. And
I was too.
I wanted to not be skinny.
Right. Did you ever
Well,
drink that product called Weight On? I drank
yes,
Weight On every night to gain
yes.
weight.
And
Yes.
you know, so you know, well, sure enough, I turned that corner. I'm not tormented by being rail thin anymore.
Nope.
Um, so now I got to turn another corner. So, but we'll see. And you know, I exercise, and you know, so some of my weight is lean tissue. This is the second I've weighed the most I've ever weighed, and I've weighed this twice.
Okay.
I actually look better than the first time, and I feel better than the first time I weighed this, because now some of it really is lean tissue and not just all fat. So it is, you know, there's this and there's that and whatever. And I'm middle aged, and my mother married a fat man, and I need to love myself.
Yes.
End of
That's the
story.
key. Yeah.
End of story.
Yeah.
And if I can conceive that and believe that, surely I'm going to get there. Surely I'm going to achieve that, no matter how many times I've fallen short so far.
So,
Right
what's coming to mind is what we resist persists, and we resist ourselves. We hate ourselves. Let's face it. Fat in the United States is shame-based. What'd you do to get fat? Aren't you moving? Or, you know, are you just eating hot fudge sundaes every day and brownies? And is that what you're doing? You know, why do you look so bad? We think fat people are less smart. They're not quite intelligent. We think they're not as wealthy. These are the boxes we put people in. I don't mean you and I mean the general public.
Yes. And I've been, you know, I love to travel, and I've been to places, cultures, countries, villages, where fat is sexy.
Right.
Because it suggests that you're sturdy enough to have kids, like you're healthy and strong.
Right.
And so like large, like round sort of Rubenesque women, those are the sex goddesses, right? And then other places where fat means you're super wealthy because you can afford all the food you want. And so that's kind of a status symbol to be fat. And I remember even my grandparents who grew up in the Depression, when someone was sick and maybe losing weight from being sick or whatever, they would immediately start making them milkshakes. Like their idea of getting healthy was to put on some weight. Like if you were getting frail and thin, that must mean you're weak, and they wanted you to be strong. So they'd like pour ice cream down you, or make you sandwiches all the time, or feed you bananas all the time, to try to make you strong, to make you stout, they would say. And so, I mean, so there have been times in our own culture, and there's still time in other cultures, where having some weight on you means you either have a lot of money, or that you're strong, or that you know that you probably can have kids, and those were good things. But those aren't the things I think about, and I really don't care about who else is big. Like I don't think, oh, that big person. It's a me thing.
Right. I am totally in agreement with you.
If you gain 30 pounds between now and the next time I see you, I'll be like, oh, you look fine. Why are you worried about it?
I know, that's why I love our friendship.
Right. But if I don't lose a pound between now and the next time I talk to you, I'm going to think I'm just a complete slug. So it's a me thing. It's totally a me thing.
I hear you. Thus the whole thing about, you know, what other people think, and the being nice and all that. Well, it may interest you to know, and I think you probably already do, the medical community, when you're in late stages of cancer, they try to push protein. They try to push high fat. And the other thing is, when you get to be a certain age, they don't want you too thin, because if you get sick, you don't have a lot of resistance. So that is still in the medical community, that, you know, being ultra thin is not necessarily a good thing, but we live in a society that really worships it.
Yeah.
So back to your quote.
Yeah.
Back to your quote. We have hope because we can keep trying, and we can, when we know better, we do better. But we have to forgive ourselves. That's the key.
No matter how many times it hasn't worked out, it could work out this time. It's worth trying again. And forgiveness. That is key. And I'm getting better at it. I'm getting better at that. That was a hard one for me for a long time.
I know.
But no, I'm actually, that's easier for me now. Now I brag about that, and the universe is going to give me a little challenge to make sure that I mean what I'm saying. But yeah, forgive this. But no, it's not like that. I don't know. But it's you mentioned some, like, I'm talking about my 36-inch waist pants being tight or whatever. You know, I'm being silly and vain. But you were mentioning some serious stuff. You know, your kid has problems, or your friend is suffering, and that's what breaks our hearts. So how does this apply to that? Because we really can't control other people's stuff. No. And you never know what someone's going through. You never know what's in their consciousness. You never know what's in their hearts. You never know what they really, really, really want. You don't even know what's really best for them. You just know you don't want them to suffer, right? And so we can try again to get our career back on track. We can try again to get our weight under control. We can try again to, you know, pass that course, or you know, we can try again for us. How does this apply when we're not driving? We're not, you know, we're not at the wheel. And so we can be supportive of someone. We can love someone. We can try to make sure they don't go through it alone if they'll let us be there for them. But we can't drive their car for them. So, and it's mean to tell them, well, you just have to try again. So we can't do it for them, and we can't tell them what to do.
No.
So now what?
Well, you know, my mentor, the Reverend Dr. Ann Kunith, taught me this. When someone comes to us and says, pray for my kid, or pray for my friend, or this or that, our prayer is for the person requesting the prayer. For them to have peace. And you will see, I post a lot of that Tibetan prayer. May you be at peace. May you have comfort. May your heart remain open.
Yeah.
May you be healed. Because when we're fixated on another person's sorrow and upset, and let me tell you, as you've experienced with Mario, there is nothing more painful than the upset, discomfort, pain of your child. There just isn't. There is no pain great enough to match that. The deepest pain I've ever felt in my life was the pain our child went through.
I remember when your son was going through a difficult relationship, and how I think your heart was broken as much as his.
Completely. You know, it was, I think, the most devastating thing I've ever experienced in my adult life. I do.
Wow.
Yeah. So who had to be healed? Me. Mm-hmm. I'm not in charge of him. As much as you love them, our children come through us, not to us. And so we have to hold them lightly. We have to love them lightly.
And A Course in Miracles says we're never healed alone. So if you can heal your heart, you're helping someone too. Maybe him, maybe me, maybe somebody. So you're still doing us all a favor by you getting better. I mean,
exactly.
you lift us up with you. There's a Buddhist, it's called a metta prayer. And so when I don't know what's best, and yet I have this need to offer a blessing, I use this. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be peaceful and at ease, and may you be happy. I just don't think you can go wrong with that one.
Right.
And the other one is the old unity blessing. It's, again, you can't go wrong with it. I wouldn't use this for someone who was Sikh or Buddhist or Muslim or agnostic, someone who might be offended by the vocabulary. But if I think they wouldn't mind, I use this old unity blessing. Mm-hmm. I bless you, I love you, I behold the Christ in you. So, like, I don't have to know where this needs to go. I just know that I love, and I wish you well, and I need a way to express that. And so there are ways to pray for you without trying to manipulate you or take the reins of your life, because I can't do that anyway.
Right.
And certainly without preaching to you. Well, this is what you need to do. Shut up, Darrell. Nobody asked you that. But I can say, may you be filled with loving kindness, and may you be well, and may you be peaceful and at ease, and may you be happy. And if I only am going to use one of those lines, I'm going to say, may you be happy. That's the one that's important to me. And if we've, even just getting there, even just getting to where I can wish you the best without knowing what the best is, where I can just know that God is with you no matter what the circumstances appear to be, and where I can detach from the outcome, even though I would like to pretend that I was in charge, maybe. Even that is a growth level in our lives, that even if I got it wrong 100 times before, if I can conceive it and believe it now, maybe I can do it now. Maybe I can just give love and hold you in the light and let it go to the perfection of divine right action, and not even judge how it works out then after that. That takes a lot of courage to really let go and let God. That takes a lot of courage. And I didn't have that courage for a long, long time. And I don't know that I have it every day now. But on the days that you can, let go and let God, and then not judge how it works out. Maybe it didn't work out the way you would have thought God would have worked it out, and still just be like, I gave love. That's never wasted. And I know that you're whole and perfect no matter how this is going right now. That if we can conceive and believe that, maybe we can have some peace with that and some joy with that, no matter how many times we haven't quite gotten it right before.
I think what you've just described is grace. That second chance that we always get, second, third, fourth, 92nd, is that do-over that we get in every day. We get to try again. Whatever we did in the past in 5 minutes ago is done. We can try it again.
Yeah. Well, we're doing that every Saturday, aren't we? I mean, we do this week after week after week. And sometimes we probably look back, it's like, oh, I should have said that, or I forgot that, or I brought this up, but I didn't take it far enough, or well, we'll get it next week. We'll try it again. So no matter, we have this concept of what we want to help people. And so if we didn't do it exactly the way we wanted to last week, we'll try it again this week. We'll get better. Yeah.
Helping without needing to know the outcome. I never need to know the outcome. I never need to know the details of who or what I'm praying for.
When people want to be added to our prayer list, we add first name and last initial if we know it. We never put the full name, and we never put the condition. A lot of times people write this much. Oh, I've got all this going on, and pray for this and pray for this and pray for this. We say Cindy L. That's what goes on the prayer list. And then we just know with and for that person that they have sacred value. The love of God enfolds them, never lets them go. They are held always in the light of God, and there is grace equal to every need. And sometimes we hear back, oh, things worked out great. Yay.
Yay.
But we know that there was that miracles were at hand, even if we didn't see them. And even if they weren't the ones we thought we wanted. So, and sometimes that is a great comfort to people who, like, the fit is hitting the shan. It's just going from bad to worse. And they don't know why it's not working out the way they want to work out. And sometimes it is a great comfort to know we don't always know. We're not in control of everything. We don't know everything. But through this all, we have been loved. And we found strength that we didn't know we had when my grandfather was dying. Of course, we all prayed for him to get better. He didn't. He did probably live 2 years longer than he would have. So there was that. And in those 2 years, he became so demonstrative. He was not terribly demonstrative. He became terribly demonstrative and loving and communicative. So that was a real blessing and healing for everyone. He died in his family's arms at home, which is what he wanted. So that was a real blessing. And so there was so much healing, but we didn't get the remission. We didn't get the cure. And
but that was what you wanted, not
that's what I wanted.
Yeah.
And I remember even telling him, oh, I don't want you to die. And his response was, honey, this ain't living. He wasn't afraid to die.
Yeah.
He was just at peace. He was healed. And I thought he meant the same thing. I forgot to pray for a cure. I was 17. I didn't pray for a cure. I didn't pray for remission. I prayed for him to be healed. He was so healed. he was so in the moment and so appreciative of the love he had and so ready to go, especially if that was the only way that he was going to be out of pain. He was healed. And but I didn't have the consciousness yet to see that. But now I do. And so I still pray for people to be healed. But I don't limit what that has to mean, because
right.
it can mean a lot of things. And just because I'm not smart enough in the moment to see it happening doesn't mean it didn't happen. Right. So I don't know what people are needing. I don't know how many times you've tried a thing and failed. I don't know how many times you've tried a thing and were disappointed. But if we can conceive it and believe it, maybe we can still achieve it, no matter how many times we seem to have failed before. And so what I'm wishing for everyone today is healing. I can't promise you what that's going to look like or when it's going to show up, but I believe it's happening. I believe it's available. And so my blessing for everyone today is, may you be filled with loving kindness, and may you be well. May you be peaceful and at ease, and may you be happy.
And so it is.
And so it is. It's just a thought. Maybe it's a few thoughts today, but I hope they landed with someone. In case they need to talk more about some things, in case people need a little more help, a little more support, there's a thing you do, right?
Yeah.
Sage, how do people hook into that?
Contact sagecoachingandcounseling.com. It's SAGE, sagecoachingandcounseling.com. And we will help you. We've got folks that specialize in various areas. And if you don't have the ability to pay, we'll figure that out.
We'll work it out. There's business coaching, life coaching, therapeutic counseling, spiritual guidance,
business.
You've got a I almost said faculty. You've got a staff that have so many different expertise levels that whatever you got, you can hook them up with the right person. Sage coachingandcounseling.com. All right, let's do this again tomorrow at 10:30, Sunshine Cathedral Worship live stream. Please join us, and then join Cindy and I next Saturday again for Just a Thought.